in Belvedere, Illinois, which is very creative by them. Belvedere in Belvedere, with just changing one letter and how it's spelled.
Why did they change the letter? I always wondered that.
Because Belvedere, the city, is spelled wrong.
What would you wish you known 10 years ago?
Women? I still wish now.
You are listening to the Shops on City podcast, a series created for those in the beauty and salon industry, from new owners to veterans. Join us as we interview new salon owners as they talk about their stories and experiences. Today, Phil interviews Luca, the CEO of Belvedere Salon Equipment. I hope you enjoy.
All right, so I have Luca Fonte from Belvedere Maletti here. This is Shop Salon City's 4th episode, and Luca's 2nd time in Dallas, so we're very happy to have you here.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
And there's a lot of questions that I have. Some I have asked earlier during lunch, but if you could start us off with your story, your background.
Yeah, my story is a pretty fun one. A lot of people say that's a kind of a movie. And I'm Italian. You can hear from the accent, kind of thick Italian accent. And I grew up in a farm, like an hour west in the north of Italy. And by study, I'm a CPA, and then I have a bachelor in banking, insurance, and stock exchange. So I ask myself sometimes why I'm in the beauty industry.
Okay. How often? Like once?
Probably once a day. Probably once a day.
Okay.
I started in the finance world. Prior to that, in the sales, and then I entered in the finance world, working for banking, insurances, stock exchange, until I decided that the numbers were not my future.
When did you realize that? Or was it a particular incident?
Yeah, there was a moment when I was sitting with 4 laptops in front of me, and every laptop was synced on a different stock exchange market. And I decided...
In Italy or... Okay.
And I decided that it was not my word. And I decided to put myself in the market again.
Okay.
And UL, which is a certification body here, it's an American company, was opening a new business unit in Italy. Mm-hmm. And I was in. Applied and I was in. I started at the bottom as inside sales.
What are you selling? What are you selling at UL?
Certifications. Sure. So what's happened is, for example, the following. I was in the small appliances business. Okay. And the UL mark is something that you can apply on, I give you an example. Okay. Because we are in the beauty industry, I'm telling about a blow dry.
Sure.
So when you have a blow dry, you have different electronical parts. It can be a cable, the plug, the heating elements, and the plastics around it. Okay? So everything should be approved for the market. Why? Because if you have a plastic that melts a certain temperature, or if you have a 220 volt plug, it can't come in the US. Right. So the companies look for certification in order to be compliant for the market, because if there is no UL mark or other companies, then it's not just UL. And I give you the worst example. The hair dryer fire and the hotel got fire. And they can probably say it was because of the blow dry that was not good enough. Okay. If there is a UL mark, the insurance will pay. Because it means that it was approved by a third entity party for the market. That's what we sell. And the business unit I was working in, I still say my business unit, was everything that we love in Italy. It means kitchen. So coffee machines, blenders, everything that is go to the kitchen, plus other small appliances like the one in the beauty industry. And that was I was good at it because even if it was not my field, I was looking at this development because I was looking at the product that would go to the market in 2 years, in 3 years.
Now, when you say go to market, and then also when you're reaching out doing sales, are you reaching out to Italian manufacturers to sell in Italy or overseas?
UL is a global company at the moment.
Right.
So even their headquarters is in close to Chicago. UL was able to provide any national mark. So a lot of time, certain companies looking for certain market. So I give an example, a coffee machine, I don't say names, I don't say brands, but a coffee machine that needs to be sold in US can't be sold in Mexico. Because Mexico has their own mark, it's called NOM. And without that, you can't sell in Mexico. So this coffee machine manufacturer wanted to sell in Mexico, so they contact us, and we issue the certification for them.
The NOM? The NOM?
Yes. And everything that you can find in the world. In China, there is the CCC mark. I don't know, there is the IUS mark or T mark for
Russia? Oh, okay.
EAC mark for Russia. A lot. And for Europe is the CE mark.
Right. Oh, so UL, the company, can actually certify different marks.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, not just UL only.
No.
Oh, I didn't know.
It started as UL only for US market, but of course the business expanded. UL is known for writing the standard for the US market.
Got it.
I don't want to be too technical because, but I like to talk about it because a lot of people think that UL is just a marketing tool, which is not. In the US, you have the NEC, the National Electrical Code, but it's a very basic code. And so UL take certain products or category of products and they write the standard about it.
Got it.
So commercial or household standards. And the standards are all the requirements to make sure that that product can be sold in the market and it's safe.
Got it.
That's what they do.
No. I mean, that's good to know. Thanks for clarifying. And so, were you mainly targeting multinational companies, international companies outside of Italy, or you were primarily targeting Italy?
I was responsible for all Europe.
All Europe, okay.
Yes. So I was traveling a lot. And due to the fact that UL was also doing national mark or European marking because they had labs in Europe that can run the test for every market, I could target, even if a small company that making a small coffee machine just for Italy, I would target them to do the test with us for that market. Or companies that say, no, our market is not United States, but we sell a lot in Asia. We can do the marks for Asia. So that's, UL is really linked to United States, but is actually a global company.
Got it. Okay. So you were there, let me see, almost 4 years, right? And inbound sales, this is from your LinkedIn account, senior sales, regional account manager. And when exactly did Maletti come into play?
Yeah. That's another fun story because I was in Maletti running a seminar. I was telling Maletti, because Maletti is a global company. Maletti has more than 8 years history. And they are present in about 130 countries in the world through their distribution unit. And they have certain products that employ electric parts. And when there is electric parts, for example, motors, massage, an air dryer, you need the electric certification to go to some market. And they come to us at UL, and we start talking about it. And because they have different markets, they wanted me to explain to their people that were working in Maletti, how is the process of a certification for different markets.
Okay.
So I went there for a seminar, and I love to talk, so that's my job. They pay me to talk. So the people was, okay, and the HR of Maletti came and say, are you looking for a job? I mean, like, well, no, but I'm a young professional, I listen.
Okay.
And the first approach Maletti had was for their Brazilian branch.
How long go in to your tenure at UL? Because you've been there 4 years. Yes. So was this like year 2, year 3?
I was at the 4th year. I was at the 4th year, and probably I needed a change.
Okay.
I think that my time at UL was done. Okay. Many reasons. And I say, okay, let's see what there is. I mean, I didn't look for them. They looked for me. So I say, okay, so they would like to work with me for N reasons. And Maletti has a branch in Brazil. Mm-hmm. And in my career, I worked in Portugal. And I speak
Brazil. Portuguese, yeah.
Yes. Okay. And I speak different languages. I speak 5 languages.
Wow. Okay.
So, and
I'm sorry, Portuguese, Italian, English, Spanish.
And French. And a bit of Russian, but I lost it already.
Okay.
But the thing is, they needed someone to fix Brazil. And the first idea was me to move to Brazil. Okay. But then, in the process of let's work with Luca, came out United States and Belvedere. Okay. And their focus switched from Brazil to Belvedere.
Okay.
For example, now, because of Belvedere and because our production in Mexico, which we can come later, right. Maletti is closed in Brazil. Okay. So now Brazil will be closed, Brazil, and we will consolidate everything in North America.
Was it HR from Maletti, or was it the CEO of Maletti, or was it someone else at Maletti?
Well, Maletti is an Italian company, and for our audience, Italy is not the most structured company in the world, and I love it. Okay. Italy is a genius world where company, they don't work like corporations. Okay. They're usually very family oriented.
Very relaxed. They like their breaks.
Yes. And but when we need to work, we work. That's sometimes people say, Italian, they don't. No, we work and a lot. Okay. There's someone, 2 working and 1 watching. It's possible. Okay. But all the 3 are there. Okay. So I was doing the seminar, and the HR person at the time touched base with me. But then was their financial director, that now is the CEO of the company, that approached me more in the sense of, let's do a contract together. And when I was introduced to Mr. Maletti, who's the CEO of the company and the president, he told me, well, you look young, you have experience, they told me good things about you, you're good to go.
That's it. So it wasn't more, did he ever mention that, okay, you're UL, you're technical, you're probably good at numbers, and in Brazil or US, this is what we need fixed? It was just...
Let's say that there was, Belvedere for Maletti was still a little bit a gray area. Okay. So they still thought that someone had to be there, but if someone was thinking that I was more sales than manager, someone thought, okay, he's more manager than sales. Okay. But the main decision was taken by the financial director that was following...
Mr.
No, Mr. Luigi Puccio, which, and he was looking at the balance sheet of the company, and if okay, I need someone that can go there and manage, not just a pure sales person. And that's why I was pushing this decision. Then that I'm quite good at sales, I can sell something.
Right.
My mom always tell me, you will sell me before I die. And I say, Mom, it depends. Probably it can happen. It depends how many camels they offer. But the thing is that one. So I was chosen, I would say, was selected because I have a multitasking approach of things. Sales, manufacturing, service, finance. I did a little bit of everything. So that's what probably I was the right candidate for them. Hopefully, I'm still the right candidate for them. But that's why Maletti decided to go with me. And that's why Maletti decided to move forward also with Belvedere. They already got this decision, but then they had like an ace on the sleeve and say, okay, I have an Italian guy, and for an Italian company, it's very, very important to have their own mindset in another country. And that's very, very important for them. Important is to understand that in Europe, we fight daily. What I mean is, we're a very small territory, and it's a lot of competition between countries.
Between countries?
Yes. So an Italian should fight every day to win against a French company, or a Spanish company, or a German company. Instead, US, you have such a big internal market that in so many resources that there is no that fight, there is no that anger sometimes that we have in Europe.
So would you say they take it very personally?
No, it's cultural. It's cultural that, I give you an example. Tell me how many American companies are successful in Europe. And tell me how many European companies are successful in the US. Trust me, it's much more the European successful in the US than US successful in Europe. And if you want to have a look, go Google the story of Walmart trying to enter the German market. It's a whole
Aldi's, and then you have the Lidl,
then you have
Carrefour, Trader Joe, right?
You have a lot of the design firms, a lot of the cars. Jeep is Italian now. Fiat, Alfa Romeo, Ferrari. These are all companies that they are successful in the US. But big US companies successful in Europe, you can count less. That's also because we want to expand. It's cultural. So Maletti needed an Italian blood in the US that can bring the design, that can bring the way of thinking, that can bring the possibility to do partnerships. And that's why also I'm here, because usually a US company, they are very, I don't want to say closed, maybe it's a wrong word, but they stay in their own garden, and they think that they can do things. Instead, European companies, they love partnerships. They love partnerships. And that's why Maletti and Belvedere start to partner together. That's why Belvedere is expanding in partnership with different products, with different things, because more we can offer to the industry, it's a win-win situation. One customer can have a one-stop shop, and we can have different partners working for one goal, which is bring the beauty industry again as it was before. Which I think it's very, very important. Beauty industry is still a very strong industry.
It is.
And we need to support the beauty industry.
I definitely agree with that. But I want to, kind of touch on what you mentioned as far as the Italian mindset. And so Italian mindset, you said that you have to be somewhat flexible. They do like partnerships, but there's also competition within other countries, and then wanting to expand in the U.S. Okay, what is the difference between working with a U.S. company with a U.S. mindset? How would that be difficult in partnering with an Italian company?
I love to make examples.
Okay.
And I don't know if you or our audience see Emily in Paris. Emily in Paris is a Netflix series about an American girl going to work in Paris.
Okay.
Okay. And in the last series, there is the exact, and it's a little bit of parody, when there is the Chicago-based office, the manager that goes to Paris and say, oh, your KPI and this and that, let's set up a Zoom call, let's set up a meeting, what about this number, financial, the cost and the profit? Yes, it's important, but the Italian business is, okay, are we profiting? Yes, I don't care how. Let's do it. It's more interpersonal relation. It's less numbers and more gut. It's more the relation that you have with the industry, with the peers, with the other companies.
Okay.
In Italy, for example, Maletti and the district where Maletti is based, which is close to Bologna in the north, there are 7 companies that make furniture.
Salon furniture.
Salon furniture. 7 companies. They're all competitors, they're all friends.
Friends, competitors, do they also work together?
They also work together sometimes.
Okay.
Yes.
Got it.
So it is a different way of doing things.
Okay.
And there is also a way to approach things.
Okay.
Like, yes, we're less stressed. Because we need to do the job done. If you do it from 7 to 3, or if you do it to 7 to 12, if the job is done, the job is done.
Okay.
You need time off to not go burnout.
Okay.
It's a different way, cultural way, which sometimes is good, sometimes not.
Okay.
Because people think that we are lazy. But I give you a fun example, and everybody know about the Leaning Tower of Pisa.
Okay.
Okay. And if you were in the US or if you were in Germany, just to give you another example, when they see that the tower, which is an engineering mistake, start lean, in the US they will tear it down, move a couple of feet, and build it back straight. What the Italian did, oh, it's leaning, it's a piece of art. Let's do tourism around it. Let's see that the people push it.
Okay.
That's it. That's how you make it. Things.
So just very different perspective.
Correct.
Approach.
That's the perspective and approach. And we love design.
Okay.
And we love to see beautiful things. And we like durable things.
Okay.
Which is different than US, which is more a capitalistic market and more consumer market.
Okay.
We like to buy expensive things that last longer.
Okay.
From clothes to cars, they need to last for us. That's all investments.
So where did that come from? This culture of wanting nice things and making beautiful pieces and really appreciating that over other companies or countries?
I don't know.
Okay.
I could.
An educated guess.
An educated guess is our DNA.
Okay.
That's what we think. From the Roman Empire, that we decide to build highways to connect Rome to the other colonies, let's say in the other places, that we decided to build big temples.
Okay.
And then comes after the Middle Age that Italy was the Renaissance with all the painters, with all the inventions, with the new democracy that was brought. With all the kitchen stuff that we do, and also the cooking ways, all our recipe, our food. This is a lot of time is something that they created.
Okay.
A lot of the Italian main dishes are mistakes, or mixing with something.
Okay.
I can give you another example that I don't know if you know what panettone is. Panettone is a cake from Milan that usually we do on Christmas.
Okay.
So it's a cake, it's a baked cake with inside raisins and orange pieces, and it's kind of a nice cake.
Okay.
And the story behind that is that in the 15th century, they wanted a Christmas pie for the actual king, I would say.
Okay.
But the cook made a mistake and burned it. So another cook took whatever was left, mixed it back, put yeast, put other stuff, and bake it again.
Okay.
And when they brought it to the king, that's, oh my God, I love it. So it's Italian.
Okay.
So, and everything we do is like that. Also in the fashion, we were the ones that try something new.
Okay.
Then stick, not stick, well, whatever. But that's, I probably think it's genetical, and it's also linked to our weather.
Okay.
And it's weird to say, but Italy is a very beautiful weather. You have mountains, you have sea, you can have sun, you have snow. It's the atmosphere there, and you know that makes this country amazing. It's not because I'm Italian, because everybody loves Italy. I don't know why, but maybe I know why. And also the position. Italy was always in the middle of the commercial routes.
Okay.
Like it's a perfect bridge in the Mediterranean Sea.
Okay.
So everything from the Silk Way was going to Venice,
Okay.
and everything when they was coming back from the Americas was going to Spain, but then to Italy,
Okay.
because Spain was handling the south of Italy. So there was a lot of trades and comments. So that's probably from where our culture comes from.
You know, if you could share with some of us the Belvedere story and how it came about.
So Belvedere is probably the oldest beauty manufacturer in the United States. Was built, you know, the historical say that we're almost hitting 100 years now. Belvedere was founded in 1927.
Yes.
So in Belvedere, Illinois, which is very creative by them, Belvedere in Belvedere, with just changing one letter, how it's spelled.
Why did they change the letter? I always wondered that.
Because Belvedere, the city,
Is with
is
a
spelled wrong. Belvedere, like the company, is an Italian word, which means good view. So when you are on top of a mountains, in Italy, you will find Belvedere, which is beautiful view. So everywhere everybody want to take a picture on Instagram, and there is a Belvedere, it means good view.
Okay.
Okay. So it was founded there in that small town, 1 hour west Chicago. And it started to grow as the biggest manufacturer. During the times, it was bought by different corporations, so passed hands to hands through soft good companies like Vella and Procter & Gamble, till arrived to a private ownership in the last 15 years, I would say. And the same was with Maletti. The only difference is that Maletti is a little bit younger. He's 85 years old, but it was always under the family name of Maletti. Just for our audiences, for you, Maletti is one of the 50 companies, 50, recognized by the Italian government as historical company.
Wow, okay.
There was a very rigid and strict ruling to do that, and Maletti is one of that companies.
So is it the 50 oldest companies?
It was some strict rule, like how old it was, if they always used the same name, the ownership. There was a lot of strict guidance to be in that list, and Maletti is one of that.
Got it. So Maletti, 85 years. What generation are we on?
We're on the fourth generation because my friend Davide just got his bachelor and master, and he just started at Maletti. So yeah, we're at the fourth generation.
Wow. Okay. And the CEO is
Danilo. He's acting as a president. Danilo Maletti is also acting as a president, and he's I love it. He's the hurricane. He's the tornado of the company. He's mainly on the sales side, and he made the company let it go as the global company there is, together with his brother Guido. The brother is on the technical side.
okay.
So
two brothers.
there are two brothers. There was a third brother, but unfortunately passed away. And these people, they created from a small company that their father created for some small, things for the hair. They created this empire.
The equipment furniture.
Equipment furniture for beauty, for nails, for spa, and for electrics. So there's different companies there. There are actually 5 companies in the group. That makes from a normal chair to a super heated, massaged, and wet table. It's a really broad thing that Maletti does. And they found each other, Belvedere and Maletti. They found each other. Maletti was present in the market, but was distributed by another company, Takara Belmont. And for any reason, they decided to go with Belvedere. And the two owners at the time, so Horst Ackerman and Danilo Maletti, they found a common ground to have the Belvedere name, brand recognition, and history supported by the Maletti quality and design. So actually it's a perfect marriage.
Who reached out to who first?
I don't know, because I wasn't there. I know that they were competitors in Europe because Mr. Ackerman was the sales manager for Velonda, which is a German company. And then they moved him to US. It's a long story. But and they always know each other, always talk to each other. And it came out, and it came out that Maletti wanted to expand to US, and Belvedere needed a partner.
Got it.
And that's how they came together. So actually, who had the first flirt and the first approach? I actually can't know. I think it was something common.
Got it. So you mentioned Danilo and what's his brother's name? Guido. Are they the grandsons?
They're this. So
generation, right?
no, this is the Danilo and Guido are the second generation.
They're second.
They have Danilo and Guido as kids, and the daughter has grandkids. So Davide, which is the new phase of the company, is 25, 26, and he, little by little, is going to take over. Is the fourth generation.
Got it. Okay, got it. Elena,
Yes.
Maletti.
Yes.
Who is she?
She's the daughter of Danilo, and she's the person that founded Nilo, Nilo. Nilo is the spa branch of the Maletti group. So if you want a very high-end pedicure unit, very high-end beds with massage and, something really, really, really over the top, Nilo is your choice.
Got it. She is my first contact with Maletti. And I would see her at shows and saw her name. So I just assumed she was the owner or the wife, but I never had that conversation. And I've always wanted to ask, like, yeah, okay, she's a granddaughter. She's a granddaughter. Danilo's daughter, but the granddaughter of the founder.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. And in Italy, how many, because you mentioned that there's 7 manufacturers of furniture.
Minimum 7, yeah, just around.
How many manufacturers in Italy altogether?
I would say 10, because some in that area, some is close to Rome, another in the east, but the main district when the know-how is where Maletti is. Yeah. So if we're talking about the Italian brands that also are pretty known in the US, that can have Gamma Bros, you can have Pietranera, you can have Vezzosi, you can have Monster and Dixon. Those are manufactured just in the area with Maletti. Maletti is the biggest one.
Maletti is the biggest one?
Yes.
Okay. Because out of the names that you just mentioned, I think I've only heard of Gamma Bros. And I know that Pibbs, they have a partner. Salon Ambiance? Okay. But, the other names that you mentioned, I've never heard of.
There is also Ceriotti. Maybe you heard that name.
You mentioned it. Or else?
Vezzosi. There are different. Charisma. These are all but it's tough market. There's a lot of things. And a lot of those manufacturers, they don't put their own name in the US. They use someone that they import them and they sell through their names.
Okay, got it. How many manufacturers would you say altogether is in Europe?
Italy is the main, I would say. Then there is a couple in France. The most famous is Cinderella. There is a couple in Poland, in Turkey, and some in the UK. I would say 25, 30 maximum.
And Maletti is the biggest in Europe or just in Italy?
It's the biggest in Europe.
Biggest in Europe, okay. And
probably is the biggest in the world.
Okay.
From a chairs and bowls standpoint.
As far as volume goes.
Correct.
Okay. Now, for me, it wasn't until I went to Bologna when, I went to the show, I saw all these different furniture companies, Maletti being one of them, and Gamma Bros, Cinderella, and Olymp, I think was another. Yeah. And that's when I realized, like, wow, I didn't know there were all these companies. Yeah. And then my other thought was, how many U.S. companies like Belvedere, Takara Belmont, Kmart, Collins, Pibbs, how well known, or are they even known or present in Europe? Because in the U.S., I would say Maletti and Olymp. I only know through Belvedere and Gamma Bros, right? But other than that, I don't know. And I wonder, is it the same story over there?
There is no U.S. company selling in Europe of furniture for beauty industries. For the reason that there are too many there.
Okay.
That's why the U.S. market is very interesting for Maletti, because the quality, the design that Maletti has, there is none in the U.S. U.S. is a tough market because of a lot of Asian vendors that they are in the market.
A lot of Asian vendors are in the market.
Yes, and I'm telling importers.
Yes, there's a lot of
importers.
Yes.
So when I say vendors, I say importers. Okay. So as a manufacturers, U.S. was always focused on the cabinetry more than the chairs and the bowls, if you notice it. because Belvedere always was working on the cabinet, on a cast iron enamel balls that we still do.
Right.
And that was their focus. And the chairs were always made in North America, in Mexico.
Okay.
But there was and there was kind of a complement to the cabinet.
Okay.
And also, Kamer, Collins, they do mainly cabinets. And yeah, they do also chairs, but mainly they focus on the cabinetry.
Okay.
And that's mainly because the US Salon is completely different from the European one.
Okay.
In Europe, you just have a mirror, but they want a beautiful chair and the backwash. Instead, here in the US, there is a lot of wood and a lot of furniture in the salon. In Europe, they keep more a minimalist style, and here they like as more as possible. It's changing.
Okay.
It's changing. People now, they like more design, they like more things. I would say US market was full of boxed chair, squared, black, very, very cushy,
Right.
okay? And they were looking at the European chair as, oh my God, I'm gonna break it tomorrow. Okay.
Or, it is, it's going to break my pocket.
Correct. Which is not the case, because a very good chair doesn't mean it breaks your pocket.
Right.
There are different levels of chair. Of course, if you want a chair that is designed by, and that's what Maletti is the number one in the world, is because Maletti actually use designers to design a chair. So they have an internal R&D, so the process is pretty easy. There is a famous designer, and we can say names like Philip Stark, Borek Sipek, Sarah Lavoine, Giovannoni design. They sketch the chair. And then you have the Maletti R&D department that make it reality.
Okay.
And make it the chair and make just the drawing of a famous designer a real something that you can use.
Okay.
These are really high-end chairs, and that I don't want to say that break your pocket, but if you want the best, you get the best.
Got it.
That's what it is.
So, can you explain to the American market? Okay. So all those designers, I've heard of Philippe Stark, and now I've only heard of him because he designed a building in Dallas. But up until then, I never heard of the guy. And all the other designers, I have no clue. And I'm assuming most Americans never heard of them, right? So can you share a little bit more about who are these designers? Are they building designers, home furnishing designers, salon furnishing designers?
It depends. A designer can design anything and everything. So I give you a couple of examples. We have a line designed by Sarah Lavoine, which is a French interior designer. Okay. And she used a lot of colors like green and pink and blue, and she made something French deco. So if you go to our website, to the malettigroup.com, and you can check that kind of design. And then there is Philip Stark, which is in the 90s. He was almost unknown. Oh. And Maletti said, okay, design me 2 chairs. And he designed something. And that boomed because the European market loved the design.
Okay.
For example, now there is Giovannoni design on it. Giovannoni is their artist. They work a lot with Alessi. What is Alessi? Alessi is a Italian company that do things for home, like salt and pepper, like trays.
Okay.
And they design different things. And for example, for kitchenware, for example, but they also design buildings. They also design interior designer. And we said, we are going in a sustainable world, and where green is getting more important. So I want a sustainable line. And Giovannoni designed the Green Star class collection. And where I say that we are the best, it's because we designed this 5 years ago.
Okay.
When there was no Greta Thunberg, when there was still no of this, we were ahead.
Okay.
We already designed something sustainable when the sustainable was not even a topic.
Okay.
Okay, so, and now big players like L'Oreal or other, they ask, which we partner with, they ask us, do you have a sustainable line? Yes, we do have it.
Okay.
Can we make some modification? Yes, of course we do. And the thing that we are the manufacturer, we are the designers. So I'm in very good relation with American designers as well, which probably we will have a line made by an American designer.
Okay.
Okay, but that is the top, and it's wonderful, and I would say kind of a hook for all the beauty industry.
For the
All the beauty industry.
Okay,
because, for example, you will love this design and say, yeah, but it's breaking my pocket. Yes, but we have a little bit cheaper ones with a very good quality. Just is not designed by a famous designer, is designed by the internal R&D of Maletti, and that doesn't break your pocket.
Okay.
Because it's a good chair, very good quality.
Just doesn't have the designer price tag. Okay. Got it. So that's how you work with designers, and that's also one of the things that separates Maletti from many other manufacturers. Okay. That's, I did not know that. And I remember going to a furniture show called High Point in North Carolina. And I was told by some of the exhibitors there that, each year they follow one company, most of them, that space, the home furnishing space. They follow this company called Restoration Hardware. Okay, so if they come up with certain designs, boom, you have all these other companies or Asian vendors knocking off that design and bringing it in, right? But I was like, oh, wow, that's so interesting that that's how it works in that space. And I wonder who does that in our salon furnishing space. And so, at least in the US, I'm not very familiar with the European market. I always look at Takara Belmont as the premium, right? Or the cream of the crop, expensive price tag. They would come out with certain designs. And then I know that, all these, importers, Asian importers would knock off those designs and bring it in. So if people ask who sets the trend, I would always say probably Takara Belmont. But I didn't know that.
Now, you know that Takara Belmont was working with Maletti since a long time.
I did know, but I didn't know who created the designs, right? I just didn't know. And because, and you could say it's my ignorance, just being here in the US, I've never heard of Maletti until Takara Belmont worked with Maletti. I actually thought Maletti was the same company as Takara Belmont. I'm sorry, when I first came in, that's what I knew, right?
That's normal. That's correct, because there was this deep cooperation between Maletti and Takara, where Takara was buying Maletti products and tagged Takara. So that's why in the US, the Maletti name was not present because it was Takara.
Right.
There was not a brand recognition for Maletti. Right. What I'm doing at the moment is bringing the brand recognition for Maletti. Okay. That's why Belvedere now is tagged as Belvedere Maletti, not just Belvedere USA. Because we need to make aware the people. And this is a fun story. I was in Georgia, and I went to a salon just to see the owner.
Georgia State or Georgia Country?
Georgia State.
Okay, got it.
And there was a guy close to Atlanta, and there was this guy that had chairs and balls. He said, yeah, I bought it from Takara Belmont. And they say, come with me. And I say, read the tag on this backwash. Oh, it's written Maletti. I say, you didn't buy from Takara? mean, you bought it from Takara,
Right.
but it's actually our backwashes. And he bought it back, in probably early 2000. So a lot of people buy from Takara, by the quality, and they're happy, didn't know that it was Italian made or, made especially for this market by Maletti. So is really the story.
Okay.
And as we discussed before, and now that Maletti is with her own feet on the ground in the US, we can market it as it should be, not just a handful of products like in the past, but a full European line design with the heart and with the American-made cabinetry on the back, North American production. We manufacture the Italian design now in North America.
Okay.
So it's made in here with the Italian design.
Got it. So, now that Belvedere Maletti is, partners and one company, and you have recently been promoted, what's your new role?
My new role will be President and CEO.
And as the President and CEO, what are some of the challenges and opportunities you see with Belvedere Maletti?
So the good thing is that Belvedere is, as we said before, is a known brand in the industry. And that is a pro because people knows who is Belvedere. Okay, we know what Belvedere is. Then there is con because Belvedere is seen as an old-fashioned, expensive company. But that's the name that unfortunately something that I would need to move. So what I see is that I want to bring more design in the US. I want to expand the brand in different markets. So not just the classic hairdresser, but different markets.
Okay.
And I want, as we said, the same partnerships.
Okay.
I want to work with company that has the same vision.
Okay.
And the same vision is make the beauty industry more beauty.
So how would you go about making the beauty industry better and bring more beauty from equipment furniture?
Okay, from equipment, it's pretty. I would say it's pretty easy, but it's not. So the main thing is Belvedere Maletti has the equipment to have flagship stores, to have high-end salons using our equipment. And that's one of the channels that I want to use. It means go to the right people that has the good influence in the market.
Okay.
Because those people, and some I know, they love the Maletti products. Okay. And we are going to have a Manhattan flagship in a couple of months, and that will be an amazing salon made with an American designer, which I really work fine with Peter Millard. Okay. And this salon is going to be amazing. On more than that, we need to be more presence online, the social part of it. And I agree when they say Belvedere is old. So we started to do a nice social, little by little we are filling our new Instagram page. It's still not ready. I mean, we're still putting nice images on it. The other thing is trying to show to the beauty market that you don't need to break your pocket to have beautiful and durable things.
Okay.
And that it's important. So what we are going to have would be also prices in our website, because a lot of the people go to our website and say, oh my God, they will be so expensive.
Okay.
So better not, they don't touch them.
Okay.
No, you can, because nowadays our business is, and I understand it. When someone buys something expensive, they expect quality,
right.
and they expect customer service, and that's where we're going to go.
Okay.
Quality, customer service, better customer service. We are going to have much more outlets. We want to go also online with some partners.
Okay.
We want to do what actually Belvedere was missing in the last year.
Okay.
I mean, the real presence. Who wants Belvedere and who had Belvedere 99% of the time buy Belvedere again.
Okay.
Because they know the quality.
Okay.
We have bowls and things out there 30 years and they're still usable. Okay? So the quality is there. We just need to switch a bit from the marketing side. And we need to create a new brand awareness and a recognition for this new company.
Okay.
I would say it's a baby company of an average of 95 years old.
Okay.
So I would love to use the analogy of Benjamin Button.
Okay.
Okay. So Belvedere is the new Benjamin Button. So we are going in the teenage years now.
Got it. No, that's a good example. So, let's say down the road, 10 years from now, where would you like to see Belvedere Maletti in the U.S. market?
So before 2008, I would say there was two big players in the market. There were Takara Belmont and Belvedere. Okay? And there was other players, but the market was split in two for 70-80% of the market. Okay? I want to be there again.
Okay.
And because I don't know the other partner, the other companies to be, or just us, I want to be the reference for the beauty industry. Because you wake up in the morning and you want to buy a chair, the first thing you need to come to your mind is Belvedere Maletti.
Belvedere Maletti.
This is the goal, the ultimate goal.
Got it. And from Maletti's standpoint, has Maletti achieved that in Europe?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So let's say 10 years from Maletti, where would you want Maletti to be 10 years from now?
From now, Maletti will be recognized in the US and not just an OEM for another company.
Okay.
And Maletti should have a solid root in the US, which can expand in the other markets.
Okay.
Maletti is already present in 130 countries. So it's not that we are, US is not part of it. But I give you another example. We are not so present as Maletti in the Asia and Oceania because of also the location. Shipping things from Europe to Asia, shipping things from Europe to Australia is longer, but shipping things from US to Asia, it's way faster and it's way cheaper. So with the new production that we are developing, Maletti can also be a new player for Australia, for New Zealand, which now it's almost not touched because of with the freight.
Okay.
So that can be an expansion of the group.
Okay.
And I always tell Maletti, US, Canada, because we also follow Canada and Mexico, they're a really big market. And I'm pretty sure that if we do the right thing, it can be the biggest market for Maletti.
You're saying U.S. or North American market would be a bigger market than Europe?
I mean that Maletti now is doing a certain amount of invoicing to the U.S., okay? What is going to be is that the best country for Maletti won't be anyone in Europe, would be United States.
It'd be United States. Got it. Is the U.S. market bigger than the European market, or is it the other way?
It's a difficult question because even if the U.S. is big, spread with 330 million people. Europe is smaller. Okay, so probably the market of the US is bigger, and also I would say the money that goes in the US is more than the money that go through in Europe. So, answer to your question, I would say yes, but Europe has a history on furniture. And Maletti has the history there. So usually when you have Maletti, you buy Maletti. Here, it's everything to build.
Right.
So yeah, the market is bigger here.
Okay.
But how to tackle it, it's a little bit different than how to tackle it there.
Got it. Do you know how many hair salons there are in the U.S.?
I knew it, but I don't know, because I know, for example, there was I don't know if it's around 1 million, probably.
Okay.
And I know that there was some with employees, some booth rental. You know, there is a lot of statistic that it is, but I would say at around 1 million salons.
Okay. Do you know how many nail salons there are?
Say it again?
Nail salons?
Probably triple.
Okay. So, you know, with hair salons, I've always gotten different stats. And what I realize about this industry is that there's not a whole lot of accurate data, okay, versus, you know, the soft goods, the shampoo, the conditioner, the nail polishes. But what we've seen is that from a nail salon, there's about, this is pre-pandemic, about 62,000 nail salons, okay. Barbershop, 48,000 barbershops.
Yeah, that's much more.
And okay, and from hair salons, because they usually group hair salons and beauty salons all together, and it's a much higher number. But we've gathered that it's around 80,000 to 100,000. Now, the million that you quoted, I've read that too, and it's just, you know, this market, it's so hard to gather this data.
Yeah, I would say 1 million, but I tell you why. For example, if you're looking at this new trend, which is not a new trend anymore, but it's a trend of salon suites.
Right.
I count one salon, each suite as a salon.
Okay.
Because every hairdresser has his own salon. And if you make that average, there is 35 to 40 suites per building.
Right.
And how many buildings do we have? It's not difficult to arrive to that 1 million that I just mentioned. And you know, there is also nails inside it, massage, eyelashes.
Right.
Is a lot going on in there.
Right. And that's where I don't have that information, and I think it's anyone's guess. But yeah, it's one of the things, you know, that I've learned through this industry is just there's not a whole lot of data. So a lot of it, we're just doing like estimates, guesstimation. But okay. All right. I will move into some just personal questions that are, you know, not so much beauty related. It's going to be a little bit rapid fire. So, you are at your favorite restaurant in the world. Okay. What do you order?
Octopus.
Oh, wow. What's the name of your favorite restaurant?
Zebu.
Where is that?
It's in Acapulco, Mexico.
Got it.
My wife is Mexican, so I got spoiled down in Mexico.
Best purchase under $100?
Oh, that's a good question. Probably a good bottle of wine.
Under $100? Okay. You have a name?
A Barolo you can buy.
Okay. What do you find helpful when you are stuck or stagnated?
Meditate.
Okay. How long?
You need, for mindfulness, it depends on your level of stress. It can go from 1 to 5 minutes.
Okay.
And if you have AirPods and a nice Tibetan bells, can be a couple of minutes.
Okay.
And I usually do it also at work in the office. If I'm stuck or stressed and I don't know where to go, the only thing is reset.
Okay.
Like, we are like any electronic stuff. And sometimes you need to reset them.
Okay.
Even if your iPhone, you need sometimes to turn it off and turn it on. So that's also happened to us.
So like when you're meditating, are you mainly focusing on your breathing?
Yeah, you can focus on your breathing. You can focus on your part of your body, how the energy flows on your body. That's the main thing.
Okay. It's not like, oh, my head really hurts, so let me focus on that.
Yeah, if it really hurts, understanding why it hurts.
Okay. Got it. What is the worst advice you see or hear given often?
Stay calm.
Okay.
So I don't know. That's usually not a very good advice.
Okay. What would you wish you known 10 years ago?
Women? I still wish now. No. Probably. That's mainly on me. So 10 years ago, I was more a rebel. I would actually probably how to talk better and how to explain myself better.
To women? Or just
in general.
Okay.
No, that one was a joke, but that we'll never understand, the guys.
Could you elaborate? What do you mean? Like how can you communicate better?
With the age and probably with experience, you are able to listen more, to think before talk.
Okay.
And 10 years ago, I was not just thinking; I was just talking, and that sometimes brings you in a bad spot, or people don't understand why, or you just say something, then you think and you take it back, but the first word is usually what the people remember.
Okay.
So it's always better to think before saying something. That's what 10 years ago I would use, probably.
Okay. What would your 70-year-old self advise your current self today?
Get to the 70s.
Get to the 70s.
Yes.
Just make it to the 70s.
Just make it through.
Okay.
Just make it through.
If you could place a billboard anywhere in this world, okay, what would you have on the billboard and what would it say?
Probably would be just a white billboard and a black saying, believe in yourself.
Believe in yourself.
Because it's what now we're missing on this world.
Okay.
A lot of people, they don't believe in themselves. You can do it. Okay. I come from an humble family and I'm here.
From a what family?
From a humble family.
Okay.
And I'm here. You can do it. It's not that, you make a dream. I'm no Martin Luther King at all. Uh-huh. But a lot of people now, they don't believe themselves. They think that they're not enough or that they can't do it. They can. Everybody can do it. Maybe not whatever they want, but people need to focus and needs to do what they love to do.
Okay.
Even if risking something. No gain, no pain.
Okay. Yeah. Where would you place the billboard?
It's one place only?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's a good question. Probably out of the busiest airport in the world.
The busiest airport in the world.
Because more people should get out of the plane. Because always when you get out of the plane, you have different emotions. You can be sad because you left something, or you can be happy because you're finding something, or you can not care because you're just there for work, or you're happy because you're there for work. So there's tons of emotion of people, and I love to watch it. People, I'm sorry, I'm not a stalker, but when you're in the airport, it's a way beautiful to see the people, the families and the kids screaming, and the businessman that it's all over the place, and the lady that's watching it, the beautiful things that she would never buy. And a lot of these people are, it's everything there. The famous melting pot, it's everything in an airport. It's everything, it's beautiful. And everybody should believe in themselves. If it's happy, sad. If you're sad, believe in yourself, because if you're sad, you have a reason, but you can get out. If you're happy, believe in yourself to keep that happiness. So I think that's a good message that I could give.
Luca, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
This podcast was paid for and sponsored by ShopSalonCity.com, the go-to online solution for hair, nail, spa, and barber salons that need equipment and furniture. Unbeatable low prices and fantastic customer service are just a few reasons why we are trusted by thousands of salons worldwide. Thank you for listening to the podcast, and join us next month. Have a great rest of the day.